and welcome back to my channel. Today I just wanted to talk about makeup and do my face. Can you see this big giant horn that's growing between my eyebrows? I'm very devastated about it, but it is what it is. I have some updates for you guys. So on the job front, I was offered, or I guess this past week, I had 2 job opportunities on the table, and now it's just down to the one, which would be pretty exciting, and I am still excited about it, but it's not really a main source of income. So I started 2020 with Tiger King, and I'm kind of coming into 2021 with Tiger King in real life. I'm going to be working as a social media manager for this zoo in my little city that I live in. But it's not really like a zoo, it's like a Joe Exotic zoo. And I say that with caution because I don't think that this woman that owns this property is as harmful and eccentric as Joe Exotic. She runs a production company where she rents out trained animals for Hollywood. So any bird, like she had birds and owls in the Harry Potter movies, and just different wildlife, like across the board. Like she's worked with NBC a lot, and all of the animals in her possession are animals that were born and raised in captivity, whether they were saved from one production studio, because some production studios, right, like they're not up to snuff and they get caught and they get closed down, but they have to rehome these animals. But it's not like they could send them back to the wild because they will not survive. And I don't know if they could really be put in a zoo because they're not quite, I'm not quite sure exactly how that works, but these are performing animals. She runs the zoo for things like her goats and her llamas and you know, the more critter-esque, people-friendly, because they're so used to being around people that they get lonely. So she runs this zoo where you can come and feed them and have breakfast with them and take them out on walks and things. Obviously there are like zookeepers. You're not just gonna be taking this goat out on your own. But it's a really neat experience. So once a week I go and I take photos, and then I just post it throughout their social media pages. And it's really fun, but it's not even like part-time work. So she's really taking a chance on me, and I'm very thankful for her and this opportunity. I don't want to make it sound like I'm not, but I really had my eye on the school position, and they called me yesterday and told me that it was a really close call, but they ended up going with somebody else. And the woman that called me, she's seen me interview for like dozens of school job positions, so she's saying don't give up. So I feel a little bit sour about it, and I mean, look, there's another secretary position that's open that I'm sure I'm going to interview for, and hopefully they just like me. I don't know. I was talking to a girlfriend about it, and it could just be that I live in a very Christian Karen environment, and if your name is Karen, I don't think you're a bad person. You just have your name is just not very popular right now. I'm sorry. And if you're Christian, I have nothing against you, but you know, there's a lot of rules and things in Christianity that I could see how I would not be welcomed by that. As I say, like the shirt I'm wearing is this like Berserk t-shirt. You know, I get it. I don't know. Maybe these like ladies are sensing that I don't know, I like anime. Like, if I don't know why that would be a problem, but then, you know, my partner was raised in an environment because they had very Christian parents that like wouldn't even let them watch Pokemon. And to me, like, I'm wearing a Berserk t-shirt. Like, Pokemon is so like not even, I couldn't even imagine. And then I've had other friends tell me that, you know, they couldn't even watch like the Harry Potter movies because it has magic. And I'm just thinking like, oh my god, I don't even, maybe they know that I like Naruto. I don't know. Maybe they can sense it. because I really try not to be too weeby in these interviews. I try to be my most professional self. So those are the updates that I have. So I'm gonna kind of keep trying to manifest good, positive things, because what else can I do, right? Like, I can't give up and I have to keep going. But I'm getting kind of like emotional talking about it because I am just kind of tired. I would just like something to finally work out for me, and just thinking of like things that are coming up financially, and there's just a lot of stuff that I don't really want to talk about right now. So I'm just gonna switch gears and let's talk about some of the makeup that I have. Because now that I've kind of been just playing with the makeup that I do have and not buying anything new, I have some thoughts and opinions that I would like to share. So first off, one of my favorite primers that I've really been loving is this Urban Decay All Nighter Ultra Glow Face Primer. It says that it's a dewy primer, and really a little goes a long way. It's not a sticky, tacky feeling like the e.l.f. or the Milk primer, but it does have, it is like a gel consistency, which is really nice. Usually I don't use a face primer because I'm putting on my makeup after I put on my moisturizer. So my moisturizer just kind of acts as my primer. But I've really been liking this with my skin tints. It just kind of has everything like stick to my face, so I don't have to worry too much about transferring. And it just kind of, if you go too heavy with it, you're gonna have really oily, greasy looking skin. I just do one pump and spread it over my face, but I really work it in and press it in and give it a minute to kind of set in place. But it's a really nice primer. Do you have the Nabla Skin Realist? This has been my favorite skin tint that I've gotten this year. I was a big fan of the ColourPop Pretty Fresh tinted moisturizer, but I've had more luck with shade matching with the Nabla brand versus the Fenty brand. But the Nabla one, like I said, I've been really lucky with Nabla, so I've been able to skin match perfectly. This is shade 3. It's a light to medium. The 2 might be perfect for me when it's like not quite summer and I have been locked away due to a pandemic for a whole year. But I've been able to get some sun lately because I've been actually going outside because I'm tired of looking at my computer looking for jobs all day. So now I spend at least an hour outside, which has been really nice, and my skin's really been loving it because I've pretty much gotten 3 shades darker since last week. But I really do like this skin tint. Some people were saying that it's a bit dewy for them. I have normal to combination skin. Like I live out in the desert, so I think my skin has just been a bit more drier than it usually is. But it's mostly my T-zone that I get oily, and it's really just like right here and around my nose, and that's usually the first place that my makeup will start to break up and my pores will start to look really enlarged, and I'm like, oh god, I look like a circus freak. And not that there's anything wrong with that, but it's just, you know, when I'm going to job interviews for the school district, I don't want to look scary again to those Christian ladies because I'm trying to get a job. So I think the trick is with this too is to really kind of tap it into your skin. This has always been my rule of thumb with like skin tints and skin or tinted moisturizers, is that you do a first layer and you let it sink and absorb into your skin, and then you do a second layer for a bit more coverage. It works really well with the ColourPop Pretty Fresh. I think a skin tint is a little bit different because it already has a bit more coverage than a tinted moisturizer. I think a skin tint is just a very light foundation. So instead of letting it sit on my face for as long, I try to just really work it into my skin, and not just by moving it around a lot, but just kind of really making sure that I'm pressing it in so it absorbs, and you can kind of just blend it out that way. I seem to get a better effect with it looking more like my skin and blended in, and it not looking so so dewy. And like I said, I know I'm using a more dewy foundation or a more dewy primer underneath. So today's finish is probably gonna look a bit more dewy than normal, but my skin has been feeling a little dry, so I don't know. It probably will just end up looking like my skin. But that's what I've been really loving lately, is this skin tint. And I think you can buy it off Beauty Bay as of right now. I don't know if Ulta's gonna be getting it. The thing with Nabla and Ulta is that Nabla was really quick to get the mascara that they came out with either earlier this year or late last year. And they have the eyeshadow palettes and the blushes, but they don't really carry anything else. Like, they don't have the foundations. Another product that I've really been loving is the Fenty Bright Fix Eye Brightener. It is said that you can use this underneath a concealer, but honestly, I've just been using it as my concealer. A little really does truly go a long way. You don't have to use a whole lot. A lot of the reviews I've been seeing have said that like they don't quite like the finish because it looks creepy and it doesn't last as long. And I would say that those people are just using too much product. Like way too much product, because this really is just like a nice, I think if you wanted more coverage, you could go over with a concealer, but because I do very light makeup and I don't really have too much that I need to conceal, it works perfectly for me. I've been using a brush to kind of tap it in. I know a lot of people have been liking their finger. I know you can use the tip of the applicator to blend things in. Just overall, I think this is one of my favorite concealers. It's very light. My go-to has been this NARS Soft Matte. This is maybe like my third or fourth NARS concealer. I've been using it for so long. Like, when did that come out? Like 2014, I think. Because I was still buying that before I moved out of like my hometown. And that was like my staple product. Because I don't know, like the thing with like liquid concealers is that like they get so crazy so fast. And I like my makeup to look like my skin, but amplified, if that makes sense. Like, I don't like to look like I don't mind that you can tell that I'm wearing makeup, but I don't like my makeup to be super cakey, super full coverage. Like, I think I have nice skin and I don't want to suffocate it. As you can see, like, I've just kind of worked it out and it's just made my skin look a whole lot nicer. It's really nice. I would really suggest it if you had your eye on it. I don't think it's something that you need to have in your collection, but if you already have concealers that you super love and you don't need to buy anything right now, but if you've had your eye on it, I would say just dig in. I think it's a good purchase. But like I said, just go in super light-handed, and when you get it, this has been also another review I've seen, is that as soon as you get it and you open it, it like starts to bleed out. You'll want to shake it first before you open it, and then kind of pinch the tubes on the side so it sucks in the air. That way it doesn't drip out. You can do that with all tube products, because even this Claydos primer, I had that same problem. Speaking of eye primers, I do want to try the new Glam Light eye primer. I had my eye on the Juvia's Place one, but then a lot of people were saying that they were kind of dark in shade, and they look kind of dark in shade, even the lightest one. So I didn't really purchase that when it came out, nor did I really need it because I still have a lot of my Claydos eye primer. But the only reason why I was hesitant about the Juvia's Place one was because I used this Claydos one and I feel like it might be dark. Like Kaleidos only has it in the one shade, so it's supposed to be a universal to hold the shadows in place. And I think this primer works great with the Kaleidos eyeshadows. I don't think it's a bad primer. I'm not too familiar, honestly, with eyeshadow primer because I mostly would just use something like my NARS concealer as my eye primer. But the Glam Light one has like a really lighter shade, and I don't know, I've been wanting to kind of experiment with my more rainbow palettes or my more colorful eyeshadow shades, and I don't know if I should invest in something that's more of a lighter eyeshadow primer. So I have my eye on those, and they're only like $10. I think this Kaleidos one was also maybe like $10. This didn't take a while to get to me. It just took me a while to get to it. And one of my favorite powders right now is this NYX HD finishing powder. I use it in shade Banana, and I really am so sad that it took me so long to get my hands on this product. I just never thought that powders really did much, like, or maybe that I like wasn't good at using them, so I didn't really want to invest in them. I have the e.l.f. Halo loose translucent powder. I've tried the Kat Von D Lock-It powder. I have the Marc Jacobs loose translucent setting powder, and I don't know, I just never thought that it did anything crazy. Like, I felt like it just made my makeup look even more cakey than it originally was. So you don't really need to go in too heavy. You just need to go in enough to kind of blur it out and set. But I always felt that it made my makeup look, again, not the most ideal. It looked really bad. Another one that I've really been loving, and it could just be because it's the same brand, but I've been loving the Nabla powder, and it's the Close Up Smooth Pressed powder. I get it in shade light, but I do have light and medium. Medium seems to be more for like a true medium tone, and I know that like sounds funny, but on the website it says that it's between light and medium, and that this light shade is more for fair to light. I don't think I'm a fair to light, but for some reason the light shade works best for me. If I use the medium shade, you can definitely see a difference between like my neck and my face, so that's how I know that it's not the right shade for me. Maybe as I'm like getting more sun, it might work better in my favor, but for right now, I've just been liking it to set, because I don't know if I can use the banana shade all over my face, because I mostly just kind of use it to set where I have concealer, and so I use the rest of this all over my face, and I've really been liking it. Again, it could just be because it's Nabla playing with another Nabla face product. Just gives my skin a more blurring effect, which I like, because you know I want to look like I have anime skin. I did just set my face, but that's okay. I'll go in with this one because I want to play with it more. The Tower 28 Bronzino in West Coast. It's their cream bronzer. It's well beloved. My only problem with it is that there is a bit of a learning curve, and this could just be my fault, because a little really does go a long way. If you don't have enough product, it will look like there's not anything on your face, so when you go in to apply more, it could get really heavy really quickly. But as far as a cream product, I've really enjoyed this. The only downside is that I've experienced transfer because I'm wearing masks, and so it's not something that I'm really reaching for every day because I am going on interviews. But it kind of works more like a cream to powder finish, and it just looks really natural and really pretty. Like, I don't have to do too much. For eyebrows, I've tried a few different things. I'm having a crisis with my eyebrows currently because I don't know how to groom my own eyebrows. But it's not like I ever went to someone to get them groomed anyway. I just kind of let them do their own thing. But that's because my mother and my sister have plucked their eyebrows to absolutely nothing, that I'm afraid that if I start doing that just because of my genealogy, I will lose my eyebrows. I don't really tweeze them. I don't shape them. I don't know how to, and I'm scared. And then I'm also scared to like go to someone and have them do it professionally, because I've also heard horror stories of like people going to like the Benefit Bar in Ulta and then like their whole eyebrow was just like ripped off. Or they go to like European Wax Center or like places, you know, where like they're hiring estheticians, but then they sometimes just look really messy and really heavy. Like right now I'm having an eyebrow crisis, so I'm just gonna leave it alone. What I will do though is kind of pluck little stray hairs in this area and kind of clean it up. And I know the look right now is to kind of have your eyebrows do like a Super Saiyan 3 thing where they're just all the hairs are going up. And on some people it looks absolutely wonderful and it's really cute, and I think like, oh, I want to do that too. Like I have nice eyebrows. I can Goku them up. And then I get really sad because they are not groomed and they're just so crazy that it really looks like it really does look like Goku Super Saiyan 3, but like here's his body and then like there's the rest of his hair. So what I've been using is this MAC Big Boost Fiber Gel. I use shade Spiked. I do like to use the NYX Lift and Snatch pen. This is such a good pen. I've mistaken it for eyeliner before and it looked really nice as like a brown eyeliner, but this is a very good pen. I kind of have a little bit of bald spots, and like depending on how I groom the gel in, it'll look kind of nuts. I try not to use this and the gel, but sometimes I just have like a little spot that the gel's just not quite combing over properly, and I just do 1-2 in that little spot and it looks fine. Today I want to use, should I go in with my Tower 28 brush? Is this the one that I want to use? Sure. I've really been enjoying this blush. It's one of my favorites. I reach for this one a lot more than I do the bronzer because for some reason I don't notice a lot of transfer with this blush. Like once it goes on, it's locked and it stays. And it's truly my favorite because it really is that shade from that Tarte. I don't know if I mentioned this last time or if I cut it out, but the reason why I went ahead and purchased this blush was because there was a Tarte used to have these cream blushes in like a little stick, and then I think ColourPop kind of took that idea and ran with it once Tarte discontinued their item. But there was like, you know how you can get those little Tarte collections at Sephora where you get like a mascara, or like you get little minis of Tarte products. So this one wasn't exclusive because the blush mini and this one was exclusive to that set, and you got like the purple mascara, the really popular one, and then you got the Amazonian Clay highlighter or dewy blush. Like it was in the pan, but it was super glittery. I can't remember the shade off the top of my head, but I would end up using it as a highlighter. But the cream blush was called Dazed, and it was this beautiful rose nude, and I absolutely loved it. And I tried every single ColourPop blush stick and I couldn't find it. It wasn't the exact same shade. I think Fenty might even have like a rose tone that might be similar to it, but this Tower 28 one is the absolute best, and it even applies in a very similar way, but it just lasts longer. It is one of my favorite blushes of all time, and just like the bronzer, I believe it is more of like a cream to powder finish. This Tower 28 one is so pretty, and it's just so easy to use. I don't really have too many problems with it, and like I said, it lasts pretty much as long as I need to wear makeup, and I don't have any transfer problems with it. it's pretty easy. My eyeshadow routine has been pretty simple lately. Probably because I've been doing more interviews. I got this with my order because I had spent X amount of dollars, and you can just use it with the code, but you have to go on Sephora's website, you have to go to like the sales and deals offer in the very end of the bar, and you have to go in and select the code. I think it's still available at the time of filming this, and by the time I have this posted tomorrow. But it's the Natasha Denona, it's a little sample from the Zendo palette, and it's the shade Scents. But I've been using this little eyeshadow almost every day for my eye looks. And I absolutely love it. It's so pretty, and it sells me on the Natasha Denona brand. I haven't really been reaching for my Kaleidos palettes just because, you know, I don't need a sci-fi green eye look for an interview. I'm trying to be a little bit more conservative. I don't know, is sci-fi green not conservative? I don't think that there's anything wrong with it, but like I said, Christian Karens, I don't know. I'm trying to match their vibe, but also outshine them at the same time. And maybe that's why I'm not getting jobs. I don't know. I'm gonna do both of my eyes, and then I'll be right back because I can't really talk and do my eyeliner at the same time. But if you're interested, that's what it is, $10, and it's worked better than most of the eyeliners I bought. It's a brush tip. If you like the formula of the NYX Epic Wear Liner, but you don't like the tip, because that's more of a felt tip, you'll like this one because it's a brush tip, but I feel like I don't have any transfer problems, and I have very hooded eyes. But I'll come back, and then I will get into my next set of products. Okay, I'm back. I finished my eyeliner, and I went ahead and did my lips off camera just so we could be done with them. I purchased this shade because of its name. Roundabout is like one of the best songs in the world, and it's the end of one of the JoJo series. I think it's part 1. So if you know JoJo, if you know, you know. I just want to talk about these two brands real quick before I forget. But this only reminded me because I had to do my mascara, and the mascara I've been using lately is from Marc Jacobs Beauty. And I bought this with my last order, and I bought it because it was on sale, and I heard a lot of people say good things about it, and I'm always open to trying different mascaras, but I wanted to try this Marc Jacobs one. But coming full circle, it's a neat little mascara. And I know I've been talking about this for a while, but Lime Crime just released a new face product. Look like little deodorant sticks, and they're supposed to be, they say that they're highlighters, but they're not. They're this product, I'm pretty sure, but in a stick form. And I'm just confused by that because like they discontinued this line to put them in the stick, and I don't know, like I want to like Lime Crime, but then once I start using the Lime Crime items that I have, I'm like not particularly thrilled with them. But thanks for joining me, and thanks for sitting through me going through my makeup collection. I'll see you guys again next week, and hopefully with better news or with better updates. All right, guys, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.